Hello, hi, my name is Monica and I'm here to explain to you the difference between the present simple and the present continuous. This is one of the first lessons and one of the first topics that we learn since its revision from last year. So let's start with the present simple. The present simple is, of course, you know it so well, and it's basically used in three different situations, okay? And you can see them on the screen. We use it when we talk about things that are always true, for things that happen normally or regularly, and finally for permanent situations. Let's see an example. If we say something like she wears glasses, we are talking about something that happens regularly, something that normally happens. She normally wears glasses, okay? That's why we use the present simple. If we say something like water boils at 100 degrees, it would be something that is always true. So we know that if we boil water at that temperature, it will boil, okay? So that's why we're using the present simple in this case. The last example, if we say something like, I live in Marbella, we give the impression that it's something permanent. Okay, you're not going to probably change or move in the next few weeks. Okay, that's why we prefer the present simple. Normally when we use the present simple, for example in this situation, the little girl, she walks her dog 3 times a day. We normally combine the present simple with frequency adverbs. For example, 3 times a day, or we can say hardly ever, or we can say always, or never, or once a year. So it's very, very typical to combine present simple and frequency adverbs, okay? Now we move on to the present continuous, and it's a bit different. So for example, you can see in this picture that the baby is dancing Beyonce. The baby can see Beyonce on the screen, and it's a very popular video. I don't know if you know it or if you've seen it. If you would like to see or watch the video, you can click on the little icon that you have below to have fun. Okay, so we can say that the baby now is dancing. So obviously we use the present continuous for something that is happening now, or near to now. Okay, another example, we can say she's looking for a job. Okay, if we say this in the present continuous, it's something that is happening for a temporary period of time. She's looking for a job now, but maybe she'll find it tomorrow. Okay, we don't mean she's looking for a job now at this very second, exactly this time, but it's something that is temporary and it might finish very soon. We also have to remember that the present continuous is sometimes used for the future. So we can say we are leaving tomorrow. Okay, so even if we use the present continuous, it's not for the present, but for the future. So the category would be future arrangements, to talk about future plans or future intentions. The thing is, not every verb has a continuous form, so not every single verb has an ing form, okay? Let's see why is this. We have in English 2 types of verbs, okay? We have the action verbs or the dynamic verbs, obviously verbs that have movement. For example, the dog is running. And also you have verbs that are stative, or they are non-action verbs, okay? They don't have movement. Verbs in connection with your brain, for example, think. It's a non-action verb because there is no movement, no physical activity involved. Okay, so within the non-action verbs, we have 3 categories. Okay, we have the verbs in connection with your feelings, the verbs in connection with reason or with your brain, and finally the verbs in connection with the senses. Okay, and you can see the pictures there. So let's start with feelings. Okay, if you are using feelings verbs, for example, like or love, hate, prefer, feel, or verbs in connection with your states, you know, like the verb to be or the verb need, okay? We use all these verbs in the present simple, okay? We don't use the continuous, all right? So we say, for example, I love this class. So we say, I love this class, love in the present simple, but not in the continuous. It would be grammatically incorrect to say, I'm loving this class, okay? Some of you may be thinking, wait a second, what happens with the McDonald's ad that says, I'm loving it? Well, it's very popular, but grammatically is not correct. Okay, so everything that is in publicity or in marketing, it might sound well, but it's not grammatically correct, okay? So we cannot say, I'm loving this class. Grammatically it's incorrect, but some people, you know, in the streets, they might say it, okay? But grammatically it's not correct. Okay, now the verbs of reason in connection with your reason, with your thinking, with your brain. For example, the verbs think or believe, remember, and the opposite, forget, understand, realize. Sorry, there is a little mistake. It should be realize with a Z, okay, and not a C there. Suppose and recognize. All these verbs have one thing in common, is that you use your reason or your brain, okay, to express your ideas, okay. So all these verbs are always in the present simple. So you can say, I understand English now, and I'm very happy, for example. And you don't say, I'm understanding English now, okay? Even if you have now, we don't use the present continuous, but we use the present simple because it's a reason verb, like understand, okay? Finally, the last category is the category of the senses, okay? We have 5 senses in total. We have the senses of the sight, so to see, to smell, to hear, to touch with your hands, and to taste with your mouth. If you use any of these verbs, normally they are in the present simple. So for instance, we can say, I smell something burnt, okay? And you don't say, I'm smelling something burnt, okay? Because it's a verb, a sense verb. And what happens with some verbs, for example, have or think? We can have 2 different situations. We can say, I have a cat now, or you can say, I'm having lunch. Which one is correct? Is it simple or is it continuous? Well, basically, you can use the simple or the continuous, but the meaning is different, as you can see. Obviously, if you use the continuous, I'm having lunch, I am having, in that case, means to eat, okay? And if you say, I have a cat now, you're talking about something that you possess. You're talking about possession. So basically, the same happens with think. You can say, I think this music is great. I like this music. Or, what are you thinking about? Both verbs, simple and continuous, they have different meanings, okay? So if you say, I think this music is great, you are giving your opinion. I think or I believe this music is great. So when we use have for possession, like I have a cat, or I have 2 dogs, or I have 1 car, I have 3 children, we are talking about possession, so it's always a non-action verb, so we use the present simple. If we use the verb think to give your opinion, to express your opinion, what are your beliefs, then it's a non-action verb, and we always use it in the simple. I think you are wrong, I think this class is interesting, etc. So you're giving your opinion, and you cannot say, I'm thinking that this class is interesting. Okay, so now the most important part of this lesson is to do some practice. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to read some sentences to you, and I'm going to ask you to stop the video, and then you can think mentally which is the right answer. And when we finish, then I'll show you the answers. Okay, so let's start with the first one. I don't believe, or I'm not believing, that you cooked this meal yourself. Okay, I'll repeat again. I don't believe, or I am not believing, that you cooked this meal yourself. Okay, number 2 is the head chef is ill, so he doesn't work today, or so he isn't working today. Okay, I'll repeat again. The head chef is ill, so he doesn't work, or he isn't working today. Okay, you can stop the video if you like to think about the answer. Number 3, you look sad. What do you think about? Or what are you thinking about? Okay, and the last one is these days most children have too many fizzy drinks. Or these days most children are having too many fizzy drinks. Okay, fizzy drinks are like soft drinks like Fanta or Coca-Cola or things like that. Okay, so now that if you have stopped your video, you'll probably have your answers, so let's have a look at them. These are the answers on the screen. Okay, number 1, it was I don't believe that you cooked this meal yourself. Okay, and the reason is why believe, as we saw before, it's a reason verb. Okay, it's a verb in connection with reason, with your brain, with thinking. So it always goes in the present simple and never in the continuous. The second example, you should have said the head chef is ill, so he isn't working today. Okay, we use the present continuous because it's something that is happening now or around now. So basically today, it's similar to now. It's near in time. So we say he isn't working today. We couldn't say he doesn't work because doesn't work is present simple, and we said that the present simple is normally for things that happen normally. So you can say the head chef normally works here, or he normally works 8 hours, and then it would be correct, but not in this case. Okay, the third one, it should be in the present continuous. You look sad. What are you thinking about? If we use think in the present simple, we are saying what is your opinion, okay? Or what do you believe about something? But in this case, we want to know what's inside the person's head. What is that person imagining in their heads? That's why we're saying, what are you thinking about? Oh, I'm thinking about my grandmother that is ill in hospital, or I'm thinking about my birthday party next week. So it's something that is in your head. Okay, you are imagining things, but you're not talking about your opinion. And finally, number 4, it should be in the present continuous. You say these days most children are having too many drinks, too many fizzy drinks. You can say these days is a synonym for nowadays or now. So it's a repetition, it's something happening now at the moment of speaking or near now. So nowadays, recently, etc. Okay, and not have too many fizzy drinks, because it's not something that happens normally like 3 times a year or once a month. It's something that is happening around the time of now. Okay, so if you need more practice, if you think that you would like to practice some more your English and this special point, a grammatical point, you can go, remember, to our class blog. Okay, you have the address on the screen, or if you like, you can watch YouTube videos. There's 1 million online that you can see. I have chosen one that I particularly like. Is a teacher that I watch a lot, and she's a very smart lady, but also very funny with a good sense of humor. So it's a good combination. I hope you like it. And thank you very much for your attention. Remember that you can visit our class blog for more practice of anything, any points that we are seeing in class. And if you have any questions about class or anything, you have my email address there on the screen. So see you next time. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.